Hello everyone, now I will show you how to set up your Linksys router. And before starting, if this video helps, please support me. I donate half of all donations to shelters. You can find more details in the description below. The first step is to turn on the router. Take the power adapter. Plug one end of the power adapter into a wall outlet. Connect the other end to the router. When it's powered on, a light will illuminate. It might take a few minutes for the router to fully power up. Next, plug the cable from your broadband provider or modem into the internet port. This port is often called WAN and is usually a different color. Each cable should be inserted until it clicks. Now you should reset the router to its factory settings. Hold down the reset button on the router for 10 seconds. Wait for the lights on the router to begin flashing. Occasionally, this button can be found inside the router casing to avoid accidental presses. Use a slim object to press it down. The router will reboot, resetting all the settings to their original factory defaults. Connect one end of the Ethernet cable that came with the router to an Ethernet port. Connect the other end to your computer or laptop's Ethernet port. Please wait a few minutes for connection. Awesome! Your router is now connected to your computer. Now you will need to set it up. Before we get started, I'll show you another way to connect the router in case you don't have an Ethernet cable or your computer doesn't have an Ethernet port. Simply plug in the router to the power adapter and connect the cable from your internet provider. This will turn on the Wi-Fi. If the router is new and hasn't been set up yet, the Wi-Fi network will be named after the router itself. Your router has a unique Wi-Fi network name and password printed on a label. Connect to it. Great job connecting to the router. Now let's move on to the setup process. First, open your web browser and visit the URL you see on the screen. Use the URL bar instead of the search bar. At the beginning, you will see a form with a login and password. Usually, it is admin and admin. If these credentials are wrong, then find label on your router. The credentials are often printed on the bottom of the device. If none of this works, it means that your router has already been configured and someone has changed the login and password. If you can't find out the login credentials, just reset the router to factory settings. And then log into the router's personal cabinet using the standard credentials. If your router settings do not look like mine, it means that your router has a different firmware. I made a video for every firmware type. You can find all the links in the description down below. I want to warn you right away that there are many firmware versions and they may differ slightly. But don't worry, you will succeed. Just watch the video and follow the instructions. First, run the quick setup to manually configure your internet connection and wireless settings. I should also warn you that depending on the firmware version, some setup steps might be missing or appear in a different order. Trust me, you've got this. Just watch the video and follow the instructions. Press the next button. On this page, select the working mode. You need to choose Router. On the next page, select your internet connection type. Usually, this is listed in your internet service contract. If there's no auto-detect feature, select Dynamic IP and click the Next button. Depending on the connection type you selected earlier, this page may look different from mine. If you chose Dynamic IP, then select one of the available options on this page. If your internet provider only allows access for a specific MAC address, you'll need to clone the MAC address of your main computer. If you're not sure, select No, I do not need to clone MAC address. In most cases, there's no need to clone the MAC address. But if the internet doesn't work after the quick setup, try running it again and this time, clone the MAC address. On the next page, set a name and password for your future Wi-Fi network. From the Wireless Radio dropdown, select Enable. In the Wireless Network name field, enter the name of your Wi-Fi. Now set the password. If the wireless password field isn't active, click on it first, then type your password. It must be at least 8 characters long. Once you've entered the network name and password, click the Next button. If you were connected via Wi-Fi, reconnect to the new network now. Great! You've completed the quick setup. Click the Finish button, and after a couple of minutes, check your internet connection. Just try Googling something. If there's still no internet, try rebooting your router. To restart it, go to the System Tools menu. Then select Reboot. Click the Reboot button. After rebooting, wait a few more minutes. Sometimes the settings just need time to apply. If the internet still doesn't work, double-check that all the cables are connected correctly. If after all these steps you still have no internet, go to the Network tab. Then select MAC Clone. Now click Clone MAC Address. Save the settings. Reboot your router again. And after a couple of minutes, check your internet connection. If internet still doesn't appear, contact your internet service provider. He will tell you what type of connection you have and what other settings you need to do. That's all. If my video was useful, please support my work. I donate half of all donations to shelters. You can find more details in the description below.